To build a team from the ground up or take. And now you'll choose where to start your journey as a coach. Head coaches, here you'll choose to create a coach of your own or use an existing. Congratulations, it's time to sign your first coaching contract. Make sure to pay attention to the expectations of the role. These are based on real-life historical records of the school. Failing to meet the university. At Minnesota, they have everything from a Heisman to a Nagurski in their rich legacy. And today in Minneapolis, the Golden Gophers hope to add another memorable chapter. What a scene this is, a veritable cavalcade of colors, stripe after stripe that they hope leaves the visitors dizzy. As we'll see a squad from the ACC, the North Carolina Tar Heels, taking on a team from the Big Ten, the Minnesota Golden Gophers. For EA Sports, and the coverage team able to wrestle him down. First half in the books. Time now to join Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Guys, it is hard to beat Minneapolis when that town is buzzing as it is today. Talk about a first half from that dude out of the...
Bitterly disappointing start to the season as they can't come up with a W and open 0-1.
There's still so much room to improve for this football team. I know this is not the performance they were expecting here today, but there were plays to be made on the field. And David, I think moving forward, this team just got to do a better job executing.
Yeah, and when you see it on tape,
Welcome to Huntington Bank Stadium, home of the Minnesota Golden Gophers, as we get set for what ought to be a terrific battle. What an exciting matchup we have in store for you this afternoon, built around the pageantry, tradition, and everything that makes college football great. As we'll see, the Astronauts taking on a team from the Big Ten, the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Glad to have you with us for EA Sports College Football. I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack and Jesse Palmer with me in the booth. Guys, we are ready.
The last time this guy's going to see the ball thrown his way.
That pass not close as he got drilled trying to deliver it, and it'll bring up fourth down. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update.
Guys, tough to beat the pageantry and tradition there in
turnover. That'll finish the game. Well, this one had all the suspense of a bug hurtling his way toward a windshield, and they did splatter them. An absolutely dominating performance.
You got to give the coaching staff a ton of credit. They obviously had their guys ready to play and motivated right from the opening kick. All three phases we saw.
Down. It's really easy to get caught up in the emotion of a rivalry game. We did, and certainly this was a huge win.
yeah, and you started, you circled it, you were ready for this team. This is the rivalry you put a lot of stock in all offseason. We're talking about this game in particular. You go out and get the dub. It's a relief because you definitely wanted this team.
And it's bragging rights for everybody, for the coaching staff, for the fans, but how about for the players as well?
victors valiant, the conquering heroes, and they call home the Big House. Bathed in maize and blue, welcome to Ann Arbor, home of the Michigan Wolverines. This matchup today, part of the lifeblood of the sport, a rivalry game where the results will be remembered for a lifetime. As we'll see a squad from the Big Ten, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, taking on the 12th ranked team in the land, the Michigan Wolverines. For EA Sports College Football, Reese Davis with you alongside David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Time to get this game. It's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update.
Gentlemen, seldom do the rational turn irrational the way they do when these two teams and fan bases get together with a little brown jug on the line. It's been a fun start to this one, and this off
on winding its way toward a victory. This is why the passion of college football runs so deep. The rivalries, and when you lose, man, does it stick with you.
No doubt about it, Reese. This was a game circled for a very, very long time. They knew how important this one was. But, David, you can't let games like this beat you twice, because this losing team now has to find a way to rebound and go out and play again.
No doubt, got to rebound, but this one stings. This is the one that...
On winding its way toward a victory. This is why the passion of college football runs so deep. The rivalries, and when you lose, man, does it stick with you.
No doubt about it, Reese. This was a game circled for a very, very long time. They knew how important this one was. But, David, you can't let games like this beat you twice, because this losing team now has to find a way to rebound and go out and play again.
No doubt, got to rebound, but this one stings. This is the one that...
Welcome to Huntington Bank Stadium, home of the Minnesota Golden Gophers, as we get set for what ought to be a terrific battle. What a game and what potential drama we have in store. You've seen this script before. Top 10 team goes into a cauldron of emotion on the road and just hopes to be able to get out and tell about it. As we'll see the number 3 team in the country, the USC Trojans, taking on a fellow Big Ten foe, the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Glad to have you with us for EA. Tried to finish this quarter with a bang and couldn't quite connect. First half in the books. Time now to join Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Guys, it is hard to beat Minneapolis when that town is buzzing as it is today. Each of these two offenses has looked like well-oiled.
Will just drop to a knee. It has been said that the obstacle is the way, and this obstacle is now back-to-back losses.
Back-to-back L's. It's not the end of the world, though. I still think there's time for this team to figure out what they're going to do, how they're going to finish the season strong. It's not over yet. 2 bad weeks. Flush it down the toilet.
The most spectacular and scenic venue in all of college football and perhaps in all of sport. The Rose Bowl in Pasadena, also home to the UCLA Bruins. A Big Ten showdown coming, conference games where the results will stick with you for the rest of the season. As we'll see, the Minnesota Golden Gophers taking on the UCLA Bruins. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth, as always, by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And half comes to a close on that play. We played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
All right, guys, a delightful first 2 quarters from there in Pasadena today. And the story of the half has been that elite corner. We were
on this run, and that'll bring us to the end of the ball game. Well, this was an offensive showcase out there today. We thought it would be a high-scoring game, and it certainly delivered.
If you love offense, then you love this type of game. Both offenses going up and down the field, seemingly at will. Throwing the ball, running the ball. But, David, I feel like...
At Minnesota, they have everything from a Heisman to a Nagurski in their rich legacy. And today in Minneapolis, the Golden Gophers hope to add another memorable chapter. A Big Ten showdown is coming. Conference implications aplenty that could resonate for the rest of the season. As we'll see, the Maryland Terrapins taking on a team recharged after a much-needed bye week, the Minnesota Golden Gophers. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth. Defense doesn't let him get loose, and that's going to wrap things up here in the half. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update.
Guys, it is hard to beat Minneapolis when that town is buzzing as it is today. And it'd be easy to say these two offense
Balls to the ground, and they have also dropped this game as the clock strikes 0. This one was a lot like a tennis match, back and forth, up and down, and they just couldn't quite score enough and get the key stop to get the win.
And defenses have changed, right? It's not about limiting to low points anymore, but you got to find ways to create turnovers and get that ball back to your offense so they can do their damage. Defense just needed...
We are ready to pop the cork in Champaign, Illinois, home to the Fighting Illini, and the fans clad in orange and blue are more than ready for this one. Today, a Big Ten clash, and you know when you square off against a conference opponent, the blood boils a little hotter. As we'll see, the Minnesota Golden Gophers taking on a squad hoping to prevent another L this week, the Illinois Fighting Illini. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis. Halftime. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update.
Guys, you've been taking in a magnificent scene there today in Champaign. And I get it. A lot of coaches will say the difference between winning and losing comes down to stopping big plays and getting big plays.
It came down to the final quarter, clutch plays, guys delivered, and they get the close win.
Yeah, Reese, big-time players make big plays in big games, and that's what happened in this circumstance. As a coaching staff, David, you love this. You know that you have confidence in your guys to go out and be able to execute when it matters the most.
Correct, and you don't know until the games, right? You don't know.
End of the first half. We played 2 quarters here. Now we go to Kevin.
Guys, from Minneapolis to Madison, there are some really folks and some emotional fan bases
matters more. And it's not that it don't matter. It's just that they are so deep for some of the
Have you with us from Inglewood, California. SoFi Stadium, one of the great venues in all of sports, and what has become a terrific bowl game over the last few years, the LA Bowl. Weeks of additional practice and prep for bowl games not only can set the tone for what we're going to see in this game, but for what might be in store next season as well. As we'll see a squad from the Big Ten, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, taking on a team from the Mountain West, the New Mexico Lobos. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, David Pollack, and Jesse Palmer with me. Guys, it's time to get it going. Incomplete, and that's how we'll finish this half. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update.
Reese, we figured we might get an LA Bowl that would have social media buzzing, and through 2 quarters of football, indeed, that is the case. And we have to start this halftime.
Final play of regulation, and now we head to overtime. Well, guys, let's play some more. Headed to overtime.
And this just feels right. Both of these teams going back and forth. So, of course, David, this thing needs to get decided in OT.
Let's see who's better. Short amount of time to do it. A couple possessions, probably, maybe 1 possession each. Who's the better team?
All right, guys, so here we go in overtime. And just to refresh everyone's memory, alternating 2nd and 7. From the gun, he leaves it with the back. Touchdown, Minnesota! They strike first here in overtime. Follow the blockers. The offensive line will take you to the hallelujah land.
And I tell you what, most of the time, Reese, it requires a little bit of skill to find that hole and slither through a little crack. That was not a crack. That was wide open. Didn't take a lot of vision because the blocking was outstanding.
And they pick up the extra point. Kicker knocked it right down the middle. Now on first down, they need to answer with a touchdown. They'll throw it on first down. Pocket starts to collapse. And the quarterback runs out of time, and down he goes at the 38. That sack gets this offense behind the chains. It's 2nd down. Looking for a man. It's Dampier. Feeling some heat. He's going to take off. Short gain on the play before he slides. 4 down territory in overtime, and they need to pick up a 3rd and long here. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to turn one loose downfield. And this sophomore able to wreak some havoc and get the sack. Does the drama get any thicker? The offense comes to the line on 4th down here in overtime. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Hauls it in. Will not get there. A 4th down stop. My pulse rate is still through the roof on this game. I would have called that one for free. Wait, I don't want to get carried away there, but it was a really fun game and a great win.
It really was. I know we're all up here, we're bouncing around, we're excited after having seen what we just saw. What a great win for this team to go out and